Check 1 2 1 2. Video number 3 for Dear Missouri Jury. Here is a Missouri government website. A statute in chapter 273, title, 17 of the Agriculture and Animals Code, if you will, 273.033. I don't know, these are just Missouri laws and statutes. You can look up. Killing or injuring a dog. Reasonable apprehension of imminent harm is an absolute defense. 1. In any action for damages or criminal prosecution against any person for killing or injuring a dog, a showing by a preponderance of the evidence that the person was in a reasonable apprehension of imminent harmful contact by the dog or was acting to prevent such imminent harmful contact against another person by the dog shall constitute an absolute defense to criminal prosecution or civil liability for the killing or injuring of such animal. So this is saying I have to show by a preponderance of the evidence that I was in reasonable apprehension of imminent harmful contact by the dog. Gee, wouldn't something like that be on a Ring camera? There are 5 Ring cameras that were on the homes in this cul-de-sac that could have filmed the event. 1 did for sure. That video proving my innocence is going to be released onto the internet in the event that any jury actually finds me guilty. It will show this dog had no ball in its mouth whatsoever, that it attacked me in a beeline viciously. There was no, oh, it crossed the street, and then, oh, it approached Mr. Pierce in his front yard, like it says in the police statement. Oh no. It will show that dog viciously making a beeline for me at a dead sprint the second it noticed me, and ignored all screaming, hysterical commands by that woman owner. Okay? That's what it's going to show. It's going to make a complete fool and a mockery of the judge and the entire justice system. I am under zero obligation to provide discovery shit for any prosecutor's office or any court that, 1, does not provide any factual evidence regarding the element of jurisdiction while presuming that I'm innocent of it, and 2, engages in a prosecutor's office that, and this is part of the record they have not denied, will not communicate with me whatsoever outside of a courtroom. Doesn't matter if I call them, doesn't matter if I go there, it doesn't matter if I leave messages, it doesn't matter. Murphy will not communicate with me, will not respond to me. This has been going on for 15 months. And then the system, they accuse you of refusing to enter a plea or refusing to get a lawyer. And they refuse, their prosecutor refuses, he has an obligation to speak to me, refuses to call me back, refuses to come to the door when I go there in person. That is a documented fact I filed in CaseNet, and they nowhere disputed it. Murphy knows. He doesn't have to call me back. Oh, the assistants, if you call them, oh, I promise you, this time, no, he knows about it. They know about it. I'm going to leave them this message. For sure they're going to get the message. They never call you. Okay? And when you go to tell them and file things like this, like, look, absolute defense, criminal or civil. The preponderance of the evidence is on the goddamn ground of the front lawn. There's birdseed scattered toward the rear as I dropped it. There's a gun holster to the rear of that as it fell out of my pocket as I'm retreating from this fucking dog. When you say the words, this vicious dog attacked me, in those words is not the actual reality of what those words point at. Okay? Look at the thumbnail of the vicious dog attacking that I posted, a couple weeks ago. Look at the thumbnail on that video, and then put that video in motion, aim it right at you with a fixated lust for your blood in its teeth. And then push go on your hormones, on your adrenaline. You don't know what that dog attack was like unless you see it, and you're all gonna see it on this video. I have just been communicated with and guaranteed that if I get found guilty by any jury, that video is hitting the internet. And it's gonna be sent to everybody I send this case to. All politicians, all judges, all county council members, all mayors. You are going to look like fucking fools while I sit in jail. You don't like that I'm not giving you discovery? I don't have it to give you. I was going to leave that little surprise for later. Just got caught in the moment. It's going to come now. Section 2 of the revised statute that says I should have never faced a criminal charge in the first place says that if a person has, on at least 2 occasions, complained to the county sheriff or to the appropriate animal control. This has to do with complaints. It's like, yo, he can shoot the dog anyway. And he doesn't have to wait for the cop to get there. Doesn't apply to me because I didn't have to complain. Okay? This is all covered in Rule 1. Rule 3. The court shall award attorney's fees, court costs, and all reasonable expenses incurred by the defendant in defense of any criminal prosecution or in any civil action brought by the plaintiff, and the court finds that the defendant has an absolute defense as provided in subsection 1 of this section. 4. This section shall not be construed to provide an absolute defense to a person who is engaged in or attempting to engage in criminal activity. I wasn't. If the court finds, that means if a judge agrees that the defendant has an absolute defense. The judge has to agree that I have an absolute defense, which means the judge has to agree that I showed a preponderance of the evidence that I was in reasonable apprehension of imminent harmful contact. Gee, what happens to somebody who fires off a fucking bullet in the middle of a goddamn cul-de-sac in America? What happens? The fucking cops get called. That's what happens. And guess what happens after that? A shitload of fucking trouble if that isn't legit. You think I'm gonna fucking pull the trigger at a dog in the middle of a neighborhood in broad daylight on a Sunday afternoon that had a ball in its mouth? Are you serious? Find a video anywhere on the internet of someone shooting a dog with a ball in its mouth. You won't find it. I've already looked. It doesn't exist. Because a ball in the mouth is a universal sign from a dog that I want to play fetch with you. I'm not looking to bite you. My mouth is occupied right now. You're saying I, a former pilot in the United States Air Force with no criminal history whatsoever, over 49 fucking years of life, shot a dog with a ball in its mouth. The cop's statement and film records the sunflower seeds spilled to the rear, the gun holster spilled to the rear of where the bird feeder was that I was attempting to get to. I'm retreating like crazy. The dog is ignoring the commands of the owner. That fact is stated in the police report. It is on my property. I believe it is imminent harmful contact. Look at the video. The Ring camera videos that they won't get because they already know what they show. The company truck that one of the neighbors here has from his employee that filmed the footage. They noticed that in the police report. Did they go get that footage? No. Why? Because they already know the dog didn't have a ball in its mouth, and that they're only protecting their friend who owns this dog, who's lived in that house for 30 years, and I've been renting for about a year at that time. Is this Missouri Title 17, Chapter 273 of Agriculture and Animals, .033, not enough? And then number 3 says the government has to pay me. Not only am I going to sue them, this statute says they owe me money. Do you think a judge is going to come out and say, oh yeah, I find through a preponderance of the evidence that you were in reasonable apprehension of imminent harmful contact, after what I've said to these judges and challenged them and laughed at them, mocked them, made fun of them online? Is this reasonable doubt that I actually committed a crime of dog abuse against a dog for no justified reason? A dog that had ignored commands and was in my yard on my property. This case isn't even winnable in any normal quote-unquote courtroom with any semblance of fairness within it, clearly. And that video that I'm going to release, if the jury comes back guilty, I just can't wait to make that content. I can't wait to do my year in jail. I can't wait to get out. I can't wait to be that person that went to jail with a video showing my innocence that I said right from day one, all throughout CaseNet, all throughout the YouTube channel. This is the truth. You're all a bunch of corrupt fucking liars. And you all deserve to be in prison. Owners of the dogs included. Yet another statute. Yet another reason. Reasonable doubt? That's up to you.